Our whole life is controlled or stabilized or activated by subtle. Same subtle activates the entire universe. All the planets and the galaxies and all this. So who's the real boss? You are not like the other, or you should compete with the other. Even in the schools, they say you should get more marks than the other. We are like tuned or programmed to compete. When you stop comparing, you start accepting yourself automatically. To recognize the energy within is the only step human beings need to take. That is like a constant awareness. That starts with self acceptance, observation, manana, contemplation. Automatically, it leads to dhyana. What is dhyana? You're melting your mind in the consciousness, a state where you're still. What is life? Two things combining, getting married is what we call life. One is the gross, the physical body, mind, intellect, ego, all put together, we have the gross. Then we have the sukshma. Sthula is this. Sukshma is what? Sukshma is the energy, this is which is activating the physical. This, there is sthula and sukshma combining, we call it life. When sukshma activates the sthula, who is more powerful? Sukshma, right? When sukshma leaves the body, we call it death. When sukshma and sthula, that is gross and subtle, are joining together, we call it life. When they separate, we call it death. So, in this context, what maintains your life is the sukshma. Our whole life is controlled or stabilized or activated by subtle. Same subtle activates the entire universe. All the planets and the galaxies and all this. So, who's the real boss? That's the real boss. And what is the shape and the form of that real boss? Brighter than Divi Surya Sahasrasya, brighter than a million suns, pure brightness, intelligent brightness. So that is sustaining the entire universe and also sustaining our body. This is the highest of awareness of human existence. So our only job is to move our awareness from the physical, which is body, mind, intellect, ego, to the subtle, which is sukshma, the energy part. We can call it soul, we can call it shakti, whatever you want to call it, but it's energy. And from there, why I'm saying energy? Because everybody can understand. So that energy part. And then we realize the same energy goes through all the birds, all the animals, all the plants, universe. So that sustains the entire universe. So to recognize the energy within is the only step human beings need to take. That is like a constant awareness. That starts with self acceptance. When you stop having conflict with you, it's not like learning something, it is being aware. There's so many things you can, techniques you can learn, activity you can learn, but to know what is running the show, what is needed is silence, observation, manana, contemplation, and it leads to dhyana. Automatically it leads to dhyana. What is dhyana? You're melting your mind in the consciousness, in the energy. That is dhyana, a state where you're still. अपने आप आ जाते हैं. वो करना नहीं है, ध्यान करना नहीं सकता, ध्यान कर नहीं सकता. Means you can't do meditation. Meditation becomes you. You can be meditation. Mainly our education system, right from our childhood, people compare us with other people. Even family, everybody say, you are not like the other, or you should compete with the other. Even in the schools, they say, you should get more marks than the other. So what we always do is that we are like tuned or programmed to compete. That is the first and fundamental we should stop. The fundamental that you should stop is comparing. When you stop comparing, you start accepting yourself automatically. If you want to become somebody else, you can never accept. If you imitate, you cannot accept. If you are completely contented the way you are, तो ठीक है, सब लोग अपने आप काम कर रहे हैं, मैं भी अपना काम कर रहा हूँ. And with that acceptance, or with no comparison, no competition, no imitation. First, you detach yourself from imitation, detach yourself from competition, detach yourself. That is like a constant awareness. I am not somebody, nor I have to be somebody. As I said earlier, if you want to attain some goal or something, that's different. That is creating a purpose. Sometimes you want to achieve something in life. Everybody has a different level of achievement. After a while, even that interest will go to achieve something. You wouldn't want to achieve anything because this comes automatically. As your frequency shifts, you automatically start achieving. And when you keep your mind in front and analyzing, comparing, competing, then all the time we are in conflict. We are never satisfied. Fundamentally, you can understand that we have stopped comparing when we start accepting, and also we start having more satisfaction with our life. You know, peace, satisfaction. This is a sign that we have started accepting. Programming is to compare with other people, compete with other people, imitate other people. That's what society pushes you. Please do it. So, to start with, change your programming.